what if family court wasn't designed to be a battleground? Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating new model for family court, one that's been engineered from the ground up to do one thing: reduce conflict and put the focus right back where it belongs, on the kids.
It's a question that so many families have probably screamed into a pillow at some point, right? Why does the system feel like it's pouring gasoline on the very fire it's supposed to be putting out? You get stuck in this loop of arguments, delays, and just filing motion after motion. But what if that's not some unfortunate side effect, but actually a fundamental flaw in the design of the system itself?
And this quote, wow, it just gets to the absolute heart of the problem. The behavior we see in court often isn't just about the parents. It's a reaction to the system they're stuck in. You know, if a system makes it advantageous to create conflict, well, you're going to get a lot more conflict. So the real question is, how do you fix that?
Well, you don't just tweak the system. You basically install a whole new one. This new model thinks about family court like an operating system on a computer. And the prime directive, the core principle, is simple, but it is so powerful. You engineer the system to make cooperation the easiest, most logical path for parents to follow.
This really shows you that fundamental shift in thinking. So on the left, that's the old way, the adversarial system we all know. The goal is to win. It's mom versus dad. But look at the right. The new system completely reframes the goal. It's not about winning, it's about turning two parents into two effective co-managers. And the way you get there is by replacing arguments and ambiguity with absolute clarity and structure. So, okay, how does this actually work? Well, the very first step is triage. It's just common sense, right? Not all families are the same. So instead of this one-size-fits-all, often one-size-fits-none approach, cases get sorted at the very beginning into different pathways. This way, every family gets the right amount of support for their specific situation. And here are those three pathways. You've got pathway A, which is kind of like the express lane for low-conflict families. Then there's pathway B, which is more structured. It's for high-conflict situations and gives those parents specific tools to manage all that friction. And then, so critically, there's pathway C. This is a safety-first process designed for the most serious cases involving things like intimate partner violence, with tools built specifically to protect a parent and child.
Okay, so the next major piece of this new operating system is what's called the family blueprint. And the whole idea here is to stop fights before they can even start by getting rid of those vague, wishy-washy parenting agreements and replacing them with something incredibly precise.
It's called the Two-Home Operating Agreement. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a standard operating procedure, an SOP, but for a family. The goal is to systematically hunt down and eliminate any and all ambiguity. Because if there's nothing left to argue about, well, there's no reason to fight.
So what does this technical specification actually look like? Well, here are some perfect examples. The plan doesn't just say, be on time. No, it says exactly what happens at minute 15 of a late exchange. It doesn't leave something as emotional as introducing a new partner to chance. There is a clear, multi-step protocol for it. Every potential point of conflict is identified ahead of time and solved before it becomes the next big fight.
But hey, look, disagreements are still going to pop up. That's life. The difference is how the system handles them. And that brings us to the dispute ladder, a process that is specifically designed to force cooperation before anyone can run to the courthouse and file another motion.
It all starts with this, a court-ordered communication protocol. The court literally makes parents use this 5-part format for any request. This just kills those long, emotional, rambling emails full of blame. Every single message has to be structured, concise, and focused on a solution by offering 2 clear options.
And that structured message, that's just the first step on the ladder. Before a parent is even allowed to file a motion, they have to prove to the judge that they went through all these de-escalation steps. You have to prove you sent the structured request, you offered choices, you gave them time to respond, and you tried a neutral step like mediation.
And this is why it works. The dispute ladder has real teeth. A judge won't even look at a motion if the parent hasn't climbed that ladder first. They'll just toss it out. This one rule completely changes the game. It gets rid of that motion culture, where going to court is the first move, and it makes court the absolute final, last resort.
So all of this together leads to this really profound shift in what the court even pays attention to anymore. The whole system moves away from trying to judge emotional arguments, and instead, it focuses on objective, measurable data. It's about data, not drama.
The court's focus just completely flips. See that low bar? It's no longer interested in who can tell the most heartbreaking or persuasive story. Instead, look at the high bars. The court is looking at hard data. Did you follow the communication rules? Are you reliable? Are you actually complying with the agreement? It becomes a system that measures and rewards predictable, reliable behavior.
And you know, the ultimate way to measure success in this system is actually really simple: reducing the number of times a family has to come back to court. The goal isn't just to solve whatever crisis is happening today. It's to give the family a stable system that prevents problems tomorrow, which means fewer and fewer filings over time.
And here's the final piece that makes it all click into place. The court actively and very openly rewards parents for using the process correctly, by praising things like quick responses or for using all the steps on the dispute ladder. The system reinforces the exact behaviors it wants to see. It literally teaches cooperation by making it the clearest path to getting a good outcome.
Which all leads us to this one final, really powerful question. This entire system is designed to completely reverse the old incentives. It's built on the idea that if you provide enough structure, enough clarity, and the right kinds of rewards, cooperation just becomes the path of least resistance. So, what if we could actually build a system where the hardest thing to do in court was to keep fighting? Just think about what that could change for families everywhere.